What's up, everybody? Mark with Coffee and Toys here. It is Friday, and that means today is comic book review day, and today we will be reviewing Duke issue 4. Let's talk about it. Okay, before we start talking about Duke issue 4, let's remember where we left off with issue 3. Now, if you remember, Duke had indeed been captured by, or is captured the right word? I guess, yeah, he was captured by the G.I. Joe team, and Major Bludd had been sent by Destro to retrieve Duke and kill him, or kill him to neutralize him as a threat. And the pit was attacked by Major Bludd and his Bloodhound mercenaries, and the fight began. The issue ended with Baroness pointing a gun at Duke's head, and that is where issue 3 ended. Now, Duke, issue 4 of the 5-part limited series, is written by none other than Joshua Williamson, artist, Tom Riley, colorist Jordi Belair, and letterer Russ Wooten. Again, this team is making this very fantastic comic. I am loving the Duke limited series, and just, yeah, how this is all tying into the G.I. Joe mythos for the Energon universe, which also means it is tied into Transformers, and we will talk more about that in this issue. But the issue, before I start though, make sure you like the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, set to all notifications, because every Friday I'm going to be doing comic book reviews of anything that comes out about G.I. Joe. I'm still on the fence about Transformers. Like I said, I did read the latest issue of Transformers. Not entirely sold on it, but again, I haven't been able to find those back previous 5 issues. Since that was issue 6, I haven't been able to find the previous 5 to kind of catch myself up. So yeah, I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you really want to hear about Transformers. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to stick to G.I. Joe for now. A Real American Hero, Duke, Cobra Commander, and then when those series end, the subsequent Destro and Scarlet limited series that will be coming out, I believe, in June. But if you're on this channel and you're coming back, welcome back. If it's your first time here, on Fridays, I'm Mark, I'm with Coffee and Toys. On Fridays, we review G.I. Joe comics, the current ones that are out right now, A Real American Hero, and like I said, those other limited series. This will be a spoiler-heavy comic review. I'm going to talk about the entire issue. I'm going to throw some pictures up, not very many. I want you guys to go out and get that comic yourself if you find this interesting. Support your local comic book shops. Support Image Comics, Skybound Entertainment, because as long as we support them, they'll continue making G.I. Joe comics, and I think that's a win for everybody. That being said, we open the issue with Stalker radioing for help, saying, hey, I need somebody to come help us. We are pinned down by mercenaries. And he runs out of ammo, and he's just like, this is not good. We are in trouble. We cut back to Baroness. She is pointing the gun at Duke's head and basically goes off and says, I am going to collect on you. I am tired of all of this. I'm just going to go retire to an island somewhere. And Duke interjects and says that the Baroness has always had to rebel against something, and that she's gotten to the point now where she's rebelled against everything. She has nothing left to rebel against. And he further tells her that Bludd and whoever hired him aren't going to stop with Duke being captured or killed. They're going to go scorched earth on everything, and that includes finding and terminating the Baroness. And she kind of looks at him and says, this whole speech you're making, is that for you or is it for me? And he says, I'm not really sure, but, do what you need to do. Either help me out, help us get out of this situation, or put a bullet in my head. And so she kind of snickers and says, you know what, fine, I'll help you. She helps Duke up, as he's still gravely injured. He'd been shot in the leg by Major Bludd last issue. And she's willing to help the Joe team get out. Stalker does show up in the meantime with his knife and holds it up to her throat from behind, like he snuck up on her. And Duke responds, nope, she's with us now, at least temporarily, to get out of this situation. And we cut and we see Rock and Roll and Clutch, meanwhile, appear to have fought their way back from the mess they were in. They both got injured in the last issue. And the Bloodhounds are gearing up for their next attack on the pit. While they're gearing up, Duke basically says, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do, and Duke goes, well, we can't go out, so we're going to go down. There's an opening that goes deeper into the pit. So they go down this hole in the pit. They're going down this wide corridor, and they come upon a room of a whole bunch of old tanks and other vehicles and whatever you want to call it. There's no real weapons, but there's definitely vehicles and like bodysuits, armor, stuff like that. And we cut back to the outside of the pit, and we see the Bloodhounds are getting ready to make their next and final push, and they're amping everybody up. Major Bludd comes out with a nice hole in his right eye, basically just crazy. As you recall, it was actually the Baroness that shot Major Bludd at the end of the last issue, and he's like, "We are going to kill them now." And as he says that, there is a loud sound that comes out, and it draws everyone's attention over, and we see this large bunker bay door opening up. And out of this crazy door, or this bunker opening, comes an APC, a Mobat, and a Sky Striker, all running straight towards the Bloodhound mercenaries and Major Bludd. The Bloodhounds just start getting ran over left and right, and even Major Bludd gets ran over. Like, he gets straight up hit by the APC. And after that, Baroness gets out of the APC, and she jumps into one of the mercenaries' Fangs helicopters, and she's like, what did she say? She says, "Thanks for the escape. I hope I never see you again." And she takes off. The Bloodhounds retreat. Clutch tells Duke, "Okay, they're out of here. They're running scared. You've got to clear takeoff for your flight. But maybe you should just really consider turning yourself into Hawk and letting the G.I. Joe team take over." And Duke says, "No, I've got to see this through." And so Clutch winds up saying, "Good luck then." And from there, Duke takes off, and we cut back to seeing Destro. And by the way, he is sporting a very, very nice red suit jacket. So thought that was a little interesting. You don't see all of Destro, but you do see the metal mask a little bit. You see the pendant, and you see this very nice red dress coat. Pardon me. So he is talking with a Mars scientist, and he's like, "What do you mean you need more power? What happened to the power packs I already gave you for this?" And the scientist says, "We don't want this armory, these weapons to fail on the battlefield. We just need more power to run these things, or they will fail mid-battle when they're used." Mercer then just shows up and says, "Hey, Bludd blew the whole thing. Duke has escaped, and pardon me." And Duke has escaped, and Destro says, "Okay, we need to call in Scrap Iron, and it's time for him to field test one of his newest creations." We cut back, and we see a mountain range. We see the Sky Striker with Duke flying over it, and he's talking to himself. He's like, "I'm not sure if this is exactly where I should be, but I don't have the map that Dr. Burkhart gave me initially, but I think I'm in the right. My gut's telling me I'm in the right direction." Duke's approaching the mountain range when the mountain range actually opens up, and we see Scrap Iron, who looks just like the spitting image of the classified figure I have on my shelf, with his turret, and he opens fire on Duke. Duke lets out a curse as his Sky Striker is actually hit by the two missiles, and it starts going down. The Sky Striker crashes into the mountainside, and as Scrap Iron is making his way up to the wreckage, he curses himself, and he notices that Duke has actually ejected and managed to get away. So we cut back, that same opening in the mountain. We now see Duke pulling himself up in it, and I tell you what, every issue of Duke, this guy just gets put through the ringer. So I mean, he's been shot, stabbed, punched, shot again, crashed an airplane, crashed a Jeep in the first issue. I mean, this guy has just had it rough for 4 straight issues. But that being said, he's sneaking into the mountain fortress, and he sees the Hiss tanks and some of this other weaponry that he saw at the Mars Industries base in the first issue. And while he's looking around, he's seeing all this stuff, we cut to a panel, and it's a dark panel. The panel's mostly dark, but you can kind of see this strange shape. And then another panel, Duke is sitting there, and he's talking to himself, but he's actually talking to whoever's watching him because he knows he's being watched. And he's like, "I'm going to find that I am here to kill your flying robot," is what he says. And then we get another panel, and suddenly whatever's in the darkness is now lighting up. This same almost pentagon-shaped thing is lighting up with energy. And Duke screams this again, "I'm going to kill your flying robot." And the final, right before the final panel, we see that he is grabbed around the throat by a metal claw, which takes us to the final full-page panel of the issue, with Duke being hoisted high into the air on this mechanical claw that is attached to none other than a Cobra bat. And yes, it was the Cobra bat chest panel that we were seeing activate that was actually ultimately going to come out and find Duke to end issue 4 of Duke. So let me tell you a little bit so that's the entire issue. So it was a action-packed issue from start to finish. We had action, we had, the Baroness and Duke, we had Stalker sneaking up on the Baroness, we had Rock and Roll and Clutch come back, we had them fight their way out from the depths of the pit against Major Bludd's forces. Seeing Major Bludd would just, it's bad. That, again, this another issue with this comic, not an issue with this comic, a crazy thing about this comic is like how much blood is in these new comics, how gritty they are. Not just Duke, but also Cobra Commander. But Major Bludd with, blood squirting out of this eye and just all over his face and still just going crazy like, we have to kill these guys now. I'm done with this. And it was a fantastic issue. Nice seeing Scrap Iron make an appearance. Very cool to see like how his if you know who Scrap Iron is, he does weaponry for Cobra, and in this case he's doing it for Mars. And it's nice to be able to see that brought into these comics. And he took Duke Sky Striker down. So kudos to him. But unfortunately, Duke is just like a cockroach. You can't quite kill him. But seeing the Cobra bat at the end of the issue was really cool, and it's the classic old school V1 bat with the red faceplate. So I thought that was extra. Actually, I think it was the red faceplate. I'll put the picture of it up on here, but I actually just want to go back and look myself because I thought it was indeed the red faceplate. But I do have to check it out because it is. It is indeed the red faceplate of the bat, which is my personal favorite. The one, it looks like the cartoon bat. That's the one I've always liked the most. Out of all the bats, I like the one with the red faceplate. So that's the issue. I would say I would give this another solid 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Next week. I don't think we have any comics coming out next week. This is the end of April or the end of March's comics. So next month, again, we will be reviewing G.I. Joe: All American Hero, Cobra Commander, the final issue of Cobra Commander, and the final issue of Duke to round out the month of April. And then don't forget that Destro and Scarlet will be coming later this year. I think it's June. I keep saying it's June, but it might be before that. It might be May. I don't know if there's going to be a month gap in there or not. But with that being said, make sure you like this channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and drop me a comment and let me know what you think about Duke issue number 4. Did you pick it up? Are you going to pick it up? What do you think of this series now that it's coming close to a close? With that said, I'm Mark. You've been watching Coffee with Toys, and I'll see you later.